Hey, do you want to know a secret? Yes, yes, you do. Everybody wants to know a secret. That's why it's such a powerful tool for your marketing. Join me now for episode 37 of the Cheeky Sales Coach, where we talk about the greatest secrets about marketing secrets. And heads up, number 6 is the biggest secret of all. I know you've seen this tool used many, many times, where people say, oh, here's the 7 secrets of this, and here's the 9 secrets of that, and here's the 4 biggest secrets of blah, blah, blah. That's a great tool, but there's a right way and a wrong way to use it. So now here's 6 or 7 things you need to know about using secrets in your marketing. Thing number 1 is very straightforward. Do it. Use those secrets. And you're going to see as the secrets unfold why this is so important. But start by committing to using at least one secrets campaign every year. The thing is, people want to know the information that you have. So giving them the goods often means giving them something that they did not have before and that they can actually use going forward. So use those secrets. Thing number 2, if you promise a secret, you need to deliver. In other words, when you say that these are the secrets, you need to actually give really good usable information. Some people have this trick they use where they lure people in and then they give them just enough information so that they'll go buy a product so that they can get the actual secret. Don't do that, right? If you're going to make a promise, if you're going to say, hey, here's the secret, give people the information. Here's the thing. When we've talked about this before, if you give all your good, juicy information, people will love it. They will want to consume it again. They will want to hear you talk about it from different angles. They will want to get more of the good stuff that you have given them. They will always assume that you have more. You know, if you give a 6-minute presentation, they're going to assume that the hour-long presentation is even better. If they love the hour-long presentation, they're going to assume that the 10-part class is even better, and so forth and so on. At every level, you need to make the promises, and then you need to deliver the goods. Thing number 3, there are 2 ways of delivering secrets: the honest way and the sleazy way. Here's what I mean. Very frequently, people will use this sleazy technique where they promise and promise and promise and promise, and then they keep talking about how good their promises are, and then as they're delivering information, they keep reminding you that it's the best, most important thing in the history of the world, and they're constantly selling and selling and selling even after you've already bought. I consider this sleazy because in general, when you see that kind of a presentation of information after a sales technique, what you're going to find is it's not that great in the end. And the reason that they push so hard is that people who sell that way have a lot of returns. I personally hate returns. I would rather have 1 in 1,000 people return something than to have 25 or 30% return it for a much larger amount. So I charge less and I try to over-deliver and not have the returns. Very frequently, when you see these big funnel programs or the super amazing, spectacular launch programs, they are based on getting 25, 35, sometimes 50% returns. Personally, that's not my idea of a way to make friends and build long-term relationships, so I don't sell that way. The other way that you can deliver secrets is, as I already alluded to, over-deliver. Actually give really good, juicy information and never say that if you want more, you have to pay more. If you want the next level, you have to pay more. Sell what you're selling, deliver what you're selling. If people like it, they will choose to buy more, and you can minimize the returns. Thing number 4, promises and secrets are a great way to build a relationship. Tell people, I'm going to give you the good stuff, and then deliver the good stuff, and do it in a way where you're constantly building on the information they've seen in the past. This, to be honest, it's what I'm trying to do in this video series. I hope that you go back and look at the earlier videos and say, that was useful, that was useful, that was useful. Each of these is designed to get you a piece of the much bigger picture. So when you use secrets, make sure that part of what you do is use them to build upon one another to build a much bigger relationship. If you build a relationship, whether it's in person or online, you will get people who trust you because they know you and they like you. They see that you have delivered time and time again. And so if you deliver again and again and again, constantly giving good information, then what happens is in people's brains, you shrink the part of their brain that questions whether or not they're going to get value if they give you money. If they have given you money 10 times and got great value 10 times, then on the 11th try, they're just going to say, it's a question of whether or not I'm ready to consume this information, whether I'm ready to pay this money. It's not a question of whether I will get value in exchange for the money I spend. But if you've been jerking them around and you promise things and promise things and promise things and you deliver 20%, then they may have a lot of questions about whether or not they're going to get value from what you do. I did a presentation in Australia with a great friend of mine, Nigel Moore, a few years ago. And when we were planning it, in the very first planning meeting, we both agreed on one thing. We wanted everybody who paid to attend to leave with 10 times the value of what they thought they were going to get on day one. So that's how we designed the all-day program that we put together, based on massively over-delivering. And I think we did because nobody asked for their money back. Number 5, and this is almost the best tip. It may be I'll say it's this. It's the best tip so far, but the next tip is even better. Number 5 is use pro tips. What's a pro tip? Well, think about it this way. No matter what industry you're in, you know things that other people don't know. And you probably know a certain number of things that only professionals know. And I'll give you 2 examples. So my dad was handy with everything. And he used to build cabinets for our house and for other people. And one time we were working on some project and he had all of these little nails, and he literally would take each nail, turn it upside down with the pointy end up, and tap on it to dull the nail, and then he would pound it into the wood. And then we'd get the next nail and he would dull the nail and pound it into the wood. And I asked him, why are you doing that? And he explained, well, this particular wood is very brittle, and so I want to drive the nail through it, and if I leave a sharp wedge, this wood is going to split. So the way I keep it from splitting is he literally had a way that he pounded the nail. That's harder to explain. But first he dulled the nail so it wasn't going to have a wedge. You don't use that all the time, but that's a great pro tip to have if you're going to be doing cabinetry. Another example in the world of IT, we have a secret that's very visible. Everybody sees us do it all the time, but they don't somehow catch on and do it themselves. And it's this. When we have something really heavy in a box, what the pros do is we open the bottom of the box, we unfold the flaps, and then we lift the box and leave the printer on the floor. We do not grab the printer with 3 people and have somebody holding the box down while we try to lift the printer out of the box. Why lift the printer when you can just lift the box and then peel the wrapping off the sides, the styrofoam, and so forth? So again, it's a pro tip. We used to use that with big old monitors back in the day as well. If you have pro tips, these are things that you know because of your experience in your profession. Whether that has to do with information exchange, whatever your profession is, anything that you do, the more professional you get, the more tips you have that the average person doesn't have. So when you share your tips, you become someone who is dispensing amazing and spectacular secrets. And that leads us to number 6. Number 6, the greatest secret of all. There are no secrets. Secret sauce is distributed in a clear jar so you can see what's inside, and it's got a label full of ingredients on the back. In other words, these secrets are not something that only a handful of people in the universe know. They're just things that the professionals know and everybody else may have a hint of, but don't necessarily know. So your secrets are the absolute best pieces of knowledge that you can share with someone. And you should promise them and you should deliver them, because that's the kind of marketing that draws people in. The greatest marketing tool that developed since the introduction of the World Wide Web is content marketing. And yes, it did exist before, but not nearly as powerfully as it exists today. And you've seen this. The air conditioner repair people say, hey, let us come and give you this tune-up for $49, and we will give you our 10-page report on the things that you can do to make your furnace last longer, make your air conditioning last longer. Or here's a special report on this, or here's a special report on that. Those things are all about exchanging content for connection. And obviously, this is very easy to do on the web. You can put out a tip sheet of the most important things your customers need to know, and you can just say, this includes the 5 greatest secrets of what I do for a living. And when people ask for that, you get their email so that you can deliver it, and now you have a contact who has engaged you, and you can send them other information, invite them to your seminars, whatever. Secrets are an extremely powerful way for you to share information, demonstrate your professionalism and your knowledge, and the fact that you are an expert at what you do. So use them, but use them wisely. Don't go over to the dark side. Actually give the information that you promise. And I promise you, you will see a return on your investment in secrets. For the Cheeky Sales Coach, this is Karl Palachuk, wishing you the best of luck in everything you do. Call to action. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you won't miss a thing.